This is lesson number 13 for today. We are discussing AV block. AV block I have discussed already in the previous, and that was first degree of heart block, AV block. Now listen one thing. When somebody says heart block without any qualification means AV block, atrioventricular block. So now we see second degree AV block. Second degree AV block is known as Mobis type 1 and is also known as Wenckebach phenomenon. Wenckebach phenomenon. Now here what you see in Wenckebach phenomenon, that there is progressive increase of PR interval. PR interval timing in the first, this is increase, more increase in the second, then you see more increase in the third, and there is no beat after that, and that is a drop beat. The beat is dropped. Now there is a progressive lengthening of the PR interval with drop beat, dropping of the QRS complex, but P wave is present and cycle is repeated, is due to intermittent failure of AV conduction. Now the causes are similar as we have seen in first degree heart block. Now we come to the second degree heart block. Second degree heart block, another type is known as Mobis type 2. So second degree heart block has got two, Mobis type 1 and Mobis type 2. Now here what you are seeing is Mobis type 2. Type 2, here what we see, every alternate P wave, as you see in the diagram, every alternate P wave is not followed by QRS. So I have shown with the arrow that there is no QRS wave by following P wave. Every alternate P wave is not followed by QRS complex without any change or any variation in the PR interval. Now you have seen in the previous one, Mobis type 1, that there is slow increase in the PR interval. Here if you see the normal cycle, PQRS normal, you will find that there is no variation, no increase in the PR interval. Rather it is within the normal limits. It is seen when there is a significant structural damage in conductive system and may progress to the third degree heart block, and in this condition pacing may be required. You have to put artificial pacemaker to get the normal PQRST wave. Now this is the Mobis type 2. Again, see here, first one, there is progressive increase in the PR interval and there is a drop beat. In this one, Mobis type 2, what you see, every alternate, for example here, it could be alternate or third or fourth, whatever. Here there is alternate drop of beat. You see the P wave, but there is no QRS. Then QRS, PQRST complex, then you see another P, no QRS, another P, no QRS. So here there is alternate P wave is not conducted into the ventricle, so the QRS is absent. This means that there is a severe damage to the AV node and the person may require the artificial pacemaker. Then we come to the third degree heart block or complete heart block. Now what do you see here? Due to the absence of third degree heart block, one should be very clear that the impulse from SA node is not going to the bundle of his and down, and it is totally or completely blocked at the AV node. Due to the absence of AV conduction, no QRS has any prior P wave, no association between the P wave and the QRS complex. This is the hallmark of the complete heart block, that there is no correlation with the P wave and QRS. P is coming at its own pace independently, and QRS is coming up independently. Now compare this one with the Mobius type 2. Mobius type 2, you see there is a clear-cut relationship between P and QRS. The PR interval is normal. Here you don't see that there is any correlation with the QRS. See, for example, here you see, but then there is no QRS, and there is another P, and there is another P, there is another P, and the QRS is coming independently. There is no relationship between P and QRS. P is coming as its own speed. You can find out the atrial speed, and you will find out the ventricular speed. So you will find that there are two P wave and one QRS here, maybe anything. So this is the complete heart block. Once again, do not confuse with this Mobius type 2. Mobius type 2, PR into P is there, and there is a PR interval. There is a relation, direct relation with the P and QRS. When the beat is there, there is a PQRS, and the relation between P and QRS is maintained. While in third degree heart block, there is no relationship with P and QRS. That means atrium is beating at its own speed, ventricle is beating on its own speed separately. This is a serious condition, and this should be treated with urgency, and a pacemaker is required. A pacemaker is absolute indication in such type of block. Now here again it is due to the rheumatic fever, can result ischemic heart disease, myocardial infarction, so many conditions. It can congenital heart complete third degree block. So there are so many causes of the third degree block, which is a serious condition. Please note also, now if you see, this is a slow heart rate. You see, between the 2 hour wave, count down the squares, number of big squares, and divide by 300 divided by the number of squares, big squares between the two wave will give you the heart rate. The heart rate here is very slow. Heart is, you can see it is very slow, and it is below around 40. Around 40. Now, when you look at a pulse, and when you find a slow heart rate, 30, 40 something, 25 something, you should immediately do EKG to find out whether it is a sinus bradycardia or is a complete heart block. In sinus bradycardia, the heart rate is slow, but you will find every QRS, before that there will be P wave. So this is the difference between sinus bradycardia and the complete heart block. I hope I have clarified with my, I could explain the difference between all the things in this diagram. So please Revise once again. It's an important lecture. That's why I am repeatedly telling you. First degree heart block, PR interval is increased. Second degree heart block, Mobis type 1, there is a progressive lengthening and there is a drop beat. There is a drop beat. While in Mobis type 2, there is P wave. Every alternate P wave is not followed by QRS. Not followed by QRS. But a normal PQRS, you will have a normal PR interval. A P with QRS, you will have normal PR interval. Now, on third degree, the P is coming at your own speed, QRS is coming at own speed. Now, you will find that the heart rate is slow. When the heart rate is slow, you should do EKG and differentiate from the sinus bradycardia to this complete heart block. In sinus bradycardia, you will see that there will be definite P before QRS. Definite P before QRS. Here you see the P is coming and there is no relationship between the QRS and P wave. So this is third degree heart block. Thank you.